Hey everyone, welcome to the Tercept Podcast. We are on our fifth episode this time around, and we have Gibson join us. Gibson is the head of advertising and operations at Carousell Media Group. Welcome to the podcast, Gibson.
Thanks, Gourav, for having me.
Awesome. To get started, can you tell us a bit more about your role and how a typical day at work looks like?
Okay, so my name is Gibson. So I lead everything digital advertising in Carousell Group. So mainly including its operation for direct media and programmatic, also for data, and also for product management across the three marketplaces available in all 7 marketplaces in Southeast Asia and Hong Kong. So my role sits at the intersection of commercial strategy, technology execution, and user experience as well. So on any given day, I might be digging into any performance data, syncing with our product and engineering teams on how we can create a new ad formats and in the UX as well, or brainstorming with our SSPs or DSP partners on how we grow the revenue together and helping especially our sales map out any retail media campaigns that will be running on platform. So typically my day starts by checking my Holy Grail real-time dashboards to ensure that everything's running smoothly, no issue, anomaly. And from there, it's a mix of strategy, problem solving, making sure that our monetization stack is built for the future and working as expected.
Awesome. And I'm glad to say that Tercept is a part of the Holy Grail dashboard, powering some of the things that you're.
It's
fantastic. Fantastic. What are some of your key goals for the year, Gibson? How is your year shaping up, and what do you want to get to achieve on these goals by the end of 2025?
Okay, so our main priorities are, straightforward: grow revenue. So apart from that, improving efficiency and delivering results for our direct campaigns and from sorts of different advertisers. So from monetization perspective, that means we're focusing on KPIs like programmatic yields, fill rates, match rates, and some of the performance campaign from our retail media campaigns, as a return on investment and everything. And of course, we're getting adoption for new ad formats, helping our sales to bring new customers to try out our new ad formats that we are releasing over different markets. We're always aiming to strike the right balance between performance and experience, ensuring that ads are effective, but also seamlessly integrated into the platform.
Nice. And how is your AdTech stack looking like to achieve some of these goals? How has it shaped over the years?
Before I joined, a year before I joined, Carousell's using its own ad server. So this slowly moved to a Google Ad Manager. At the same time acquiring new marketplaces, which is Muda in Malaysia and Chowdot in Vietnam. So now we're using Google Ad Manager for all marketplaces. So it's our core ad server. And then along the last few years, we integrated Programmatic OpenRup, which is the SDK in our Carousell app, in-app, so which is in-app header bidding. On the SSP side, we work a lot with big partners like Programmatic, Magnite, InMobi, Index Exchange, to name a few. And for buying as an advertiser and utilizing our first-party data, we are collaborate closely with Trade Desk and DV360. On the data side, we have our own internal DMP that we use for GAM and other marketing platforms and channels. But we also partner with LiveRamp to empower our audiences targeting and measurement as well outside our ad server. Of course, we work with Tercept to support multiple use cases in terms of all our digital inventory and optimizations. Yeah, so most of the holy grail of data is coming from coming from the person. So yeah, you're right. And over the years, right, we evolved from fragmented ad server and data, market-specific setup to mainly unified regional stack. So that shift has really improved our scalability and efficiency and agility, especially important for a lean team managing multiple markets.
Very cool. Very cool. So one of the most common questions that come to me when I'm discussing about retail media and commerce companies showing ads is how do you strike a balance between user experience and ad monetization? Is that a challenge for Carousell as well? How do you handle this particular aspect?
Yes, definitely. Because we strongly believe that monetization should never come at a cost of our user trust. So every ad
Of
format we
course.
launch undergoes rigorous UX testing, multiple product reviews, and careful experimentation, A/B tests, looking at metrics. Each product team, like on the buyer side, seller side, and product design, will have its own metrics to look at, and we will need to get their green signal before we start the A/B and before we roll out to 100% the user. Our focus now is mainly on native, having user-friendly, less friction kind of ad format to launch in the app. That's our main focus this year and next year. We're also looking at user-initiated kind of ad formats that will give value to our users. So they don't mind initiating or watching the ad to get some form of reward, right? But the years, we've mainly focused on native kind of advertising. So we have like commerce-friendly formats like shopping ads that integrate naturally with our user experience. So but given that we launch some of attention-grabbing ad formats like interstitial, which is like a full screen, it's a high revenue impact, but we still maintain a user first approach using a very strict frequency cap. For example, our frequency cap in this kind of ad format is just one per day. Typically, standards like one per 30 minutes, I think. So it's a very strict compared to other publishers that I know. Apart from that, we kept a very high floor pricing in it, coming from Programmatic as well. And then we mostly allow premium advertisers. So that's how strict we are on the very attention grabbing, but also what are the type of ads that we onboarded and the type of ads that we'll be onboarding for next year.
Awesome. It's amazing to know the focus that you have on the user experience and not wanting to compromise on that for ad monetization. That's amazing. You mentioned a lot of metrics that you track to get user experience and things like that. Do you also have any mechanism to take qualitative feedback from users, whether they're liking the ads? Have you guys thought about this? Any plans around that?
We have an active support to capture user feedback. We have a team across, I think, based in other markets, and we're using a lot of AI to capture these feedbacks and how can we get more info from the users. For example, we track the app reviews closely, and then that's where our team will reach out to that if someone flagged an unexpected behavior to that, and then that will be captured by our user experience team, and then flag it to me, and then we track it across. We need more details. We reach out to the customer, and then make sure that we get to the bottom of the issue and resolve it.
Wonderful. Back to your Holy Grail dashboard. So to get to your Holy Grail dashboard and to run this at scale and look at data and track these metrics at scale, what's the secret? How do you get to this consistently?
We have a Holy Grail dashboard. Just one dashboard that I look at from upper funnel to lower funnel. Upper funnel meaning what are the app metrics, sessions, active users, page views, and this will impact everything to the lower funnel, which is the ad metrics coming from the ad requests to response to match rate to ad revenue, right, which is the output. So we from the upper funnel and ads funnel. So we split it with input and output metrics. So input would be those metrics like ad requests for the ads, ad response, match rate. So we look at this religiously every day. We look at it like if there are any drop from page views, for example, then we expect a drop for ad requests, which will don't affect to the revenue, right? So we look at that to make sure that we track any potential issue consistently in any app releases. We track any unknown issues coming from the ad server and the demand side. So if you look at suddenly the ad request is dropping and the page view is stable, right? So it means that there might be something wrong with the ad units somewhere in the app, right? So but if everything's like on the input metrics is stable, but one of the metrics like match rate is dropping without any changes, then maybe there's an issue in the demand. Maybe there's a change in the pricing, change in the bidding mechanism from our partners, like changing everything from, because recently we had there's a huge change from on the bidding side, changing from RTB from waterfall to RTB, which impacted a lot in terms of pricing and everything. So we're able to catch that immediately and then take an action If we need to discuss it with our partners, then we discuss it closely and then have a consistent follow-ups as well. Because when we don't have this, we capture this in different dashboards. It will require for us a lot of time to understand what's been happening, or we will only track it after a month or two, which already impacted us in our impact us. So we have this like holy grail, look at it on a daily basis, and then share this as well, some commentaries to our leaders to make sure that we are tracking the ads business closely, flagging any risk that would impact our targets for the month or for the quarter. Yes. So it's very powerful dashboard and very helpful from lower to up.
And you mentioned this is a daily refresh of the dashboard. Are any parts of the dashboard refreshing multiple times a day or anything like that?
It's mostly daily refresh, but this has a lot of dimensions and filters that we play around. So we look at overview, and then if there's something, if there's anomaly, then that's where we slice and dice everything. Which platform's coming from, which demand is coming from, is it coming from specific ad unit, and then we go from there.
Fantastic. Retail media has become a major revenue driver for most marketplaces. How did Carousell break into this? When did it happen? And how are we looking at it as your future?
Yeah, as an e-commerce platform, we have fully embraced the retail media and aim to be the key player, at least in the driving the growth across Asia. Because over 2 years ago, right, we partnered with IAB on our retail media research, and that's where we launched as well the Carousell shopping ads. That will allow advertisers to onboard their catalogs and tap into our high intent signals as search terms and different listing information, right? So and then we've integrated to our data partners to make sure that we close the loop on the data, getting return on investment, getting some sales data, which is the data coming from the client's website, right? So but beyond shopping ads, as a retail media, we are also helping the brands maximize the value of our high intent signals to a variety of ad formats. So for example, brands can use standard display or native placements in combination with our brand page capabilities, whether it's a full form video or experience of shoppable landing page, similar to that. So these gives advertisers more ways to tell their story while driving performance at the same time, and also creating seamless user journey from awareness to action, and from our Carousell app to their website, brand.com. Apart from that, we also offer some high impact ad format, like for brand awareness, especially most of the brands are utilizing this on big promo sales or new launch, a product launch for them, and especially on seasonal events. And so we help them, support them with creating a full funnel solution. Depends on the campaign objectives.
Very nice. And what kind of advertiser demand are you seeing for your retail media offerings? Any specific segments, categories, industries?
When we launch Carousell shopping ads, or we are positioning ourselves as a retail media network in Asia, we expected primarily from endemic brands like electronics, fashion, autos, and other categories basically available, or categories that our products are bought and sell in Carousell. Also unlock new opportunities with non-endemic, which is very surprising, which are banking, insurance. We create co-creating promotions that aligns with our top search items. For example, we know our top searches, and then we look at that and then use that searches to run their promotion, their leads campaign and everything, which are typically very, very impactful for them. But we're also getting a lot of campaigns from the telco QSR brands, leveraging a lot of intent signals, because we know a lot of, based on the signals, we can segment them in different interests and categories as well. So basically, ultimately, retail media works best when brands understand their audiences, and we provide the search and browsing signals that help them connect meaningfully to the right moment.
Fantastic. And I know Carousell works across so many different countries. Are there any country-specific insights that are popping out? What kind of brands in different countries?
We generally, our major market is Singapore, right? And then Hong Kong. A lot of brands coming from endemic are popping out, like insurance and banking. So these like and they always look
Okay.
for performance. So we always look for how can we, since they're not endemic brands, how can we maximize our shopping intent signals for their use
Mm-hmm.
cases to run
Mm-hmm.
performance. At the same time, how can we help them maximize our high impact content with audience
Mm-hmm.
targeting or without audience targeting? Depends on the needs of their campaigns. Yeah, well, I think the advertisers under banking and insurance are getting a lot of attraction, at least for this year.
Very nice, very nice. You mentioned about several different creative formats as a part of your offerings in earlier in the conversation, Gibson. Are there any specific formats that are performing well? Are there any specific metrics that work better for certain formats?
Well, we look at understanding the brand's objective and where they are in the funnel, marketing funnel. We don't take like one size fits all approach for ad format. So, for example, understanding them if they mentioned it for upper funnel, make sure that we recommend high impact ads and standard display formats to build reach. For
Mm-hmm.
middle lower funnel, like we recommend if you're an endemic brand, shopping ads for performance, right? So we help them create this kind of media planning, and we've got some benchmarking, but we put it as a range for them just to understand how it will perform. And range because different campaigns will have completely different performance. So we put it in that way. So, but apart from that, we also emphasize the creatives, right? So and landing page experience to make sure that ultimately when they beyond the click, so they can have a real conversion as well.
Talking about performance specific to retail media, are there any challenges around measurement, closing the loop, conversion tracking, things like that? And how do you handle this at Carousel?
Well, yes, because most of the advertisers have their own analytics, right? So that's where
Mm-hmm.
they refer if it's effective or not. Of course, we
Mm-hmm.
offer the technology to track the performance separately. Then that's where they can understand after integrating the pixel, for example, they're able to capture how many add to carts generated coming from shopping ads or coming from our campaigns, right? And then how many conversion happen and what's the dollar value equivalent. The challenge there is most of the time it doesn't match with their tracking mechanism. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it matches on the overall level, but
Mm-hmm.
attribution is always a question for them. The analytics doesn't seem to match with whatever we generate, and that's always been a
Mm-hmm.
challenge. It's been a challenge across different platforms as well on the DSP. Most of the time, because analytics will treat some of the conversion as a direct or coming from organic, so
Mm-hmm.
it's always a challenge. But most of the time when we discuss with them if there's a mismatch. So what we do is we ask them if they observe any uplift coming from other organic channels that they're tracking. Because most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, whether we like it or not, they will always refer to the analytics that they're using. So
Of
that's a
course.
challenge, and that's been ongoing for the past, I think, decades as well. So at
Mm-hmm.
least what we try is to create, share a different dashboard or data source that will give them some insights on where to optimize the budget for their next.
Got it. No, that's a smart way to look at it. So even though there is no direct attribution, you can see an indicative bump in the organic sort of
Correct.
measurement, and hence, from a timing perspective, you could still have an indicative understanding of where the impact is. That's fantastic. Are there any specific metrics that you think are often overlooked when running ad ops?
Yes, absolutely. So beyond the usual, click-through rate and CPM impression, one metric we value, at least I value, is the time for the team, right? For the time to resolve the campaign issues. It might
Mm-hmm.
not sound exciting, but the fastest way you identify and fix the problem for a specific campaign, the less impact it will have to the performance. So that's a key driver of advertisers and not to churn on the direct side. Another is incremental uplift, so because how
Mm-hmm.
much of the campaign's performance is truly driven by the campaign itself rather than occurring organically, as you mentioned. So it's a powerful metric, but it's still underused because
Mm-hmm.
eventually marketer, if they run a campaign, we would think that they will naturally look at, how's the organic uplift, but this is something that overlook. And that's why I guess I thought about that. But we also look closely at the campaign design. If the creative isn't really compelling or targeting too narrow, then the best inventory can save the campaign. We work closely with the clients during the planning to set them up for success for this, for the start. So we look at those everything from the execution and then the metrics.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Coming to the role Tercept plays in your reporting, Gibson, has anything changed pre working with Tercept, post working with Tercept?
Yes, before Tercept, right? So a lot of time we spent a lot in manual pulling of reports from different SSPs and platform. It was very time consuming. And it's limited our ability to focus on higher impact initiatives. So imagine every closing period, we need to spend a day to download reports, consolidate it into one. Now, with your support, self-support, so with real time, or at least on a daily basis, we have centralized dashboards. We can quickly spot the trends and catch anomalies, as I mentioned, on the holy grail of dashboards. And it definitely reduces manual work. And it helps us onboard new data segments, data sources. Like we have new partners. I just typically ask, you guys support this vendor? Most of the time, you guys say yes, right? Which is quite helpful for us. So we just need to get credentials and then everything plug in, and that's very useful. I guess another use case with Tercept is related to optimization. I think we introduced this a year or two after I joined. This is where we did a lot of experiment, which improve a lot on our standard display performance. As you know, ad server will just divide your impression from start to end date. So with Tercept help us how to optimize them, make sure that it doesn't just do that. It will look at a performance and help our campaign have a better click-through rate overall. We consistently optimize and comparing it with or without Tercept. We prove it was proven very helpful. And now we've been actively asking your team to help us optimize as well on top of our
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great to know, Gibson. Are you looking at alternative identifiers? Have you looked at them? How have you what is your view on alternative identifiers, and do you see any incremental impact? Have you tested them?
Yes. So with ongoing changes in the privacy regulations, right, and delays in cookie deprecation, so addressability in programmatic has been evolving quickly. Now even Google, I guess, canceled the cookie deprecation, I believe, but going through a different kind of privacy to make sure that all of the users are consented that their browsers are targeted. So we explored several alternative vendors that will give us ID solutions. Each of them will require SDKs and complex integrations. I think we have a couple on our backlogs for the past few years, but there's not enough use case or data that justify the integration, right? So we kept delaying it. But then we partner with LiveRamp with different use case, right? So close contribution for our shopping ads and then for our data partnership as well. With them, we also partner with them in terms of generating ID solutions since they're ID agnostic. So it's for them, for us, it's like a single integration, a LiveRamp ATS SDK. And it will give us access to Ramp ID, which is their own identifier, Google Pair for DV, and UID from Trade Desk. Also, there's like Yahoo Connect ID and Panorama ID from Lotame. And hopefully there are more, so we don't need to integrate. And with the multiple advertisers, agencies would have different kind of ID. So this solution is exactly what we need. So we can supply them any IDs that are available in the market. After this, we completed this last year, and we are able to measure the improvements in terms of the fill rates in programmatic. And then apart from fill rates, the click rates also improve because improve addressability. I studied very closely with multiple partners, look at how is the bids with these IDs and without these IDs. They're able to capture how much revenue we're able to miss if we don't have this ID solutions, which is very surprising for us, and because the adoption, I believe, is quite low. But I think it has improved when we have it on the backlog and when we implemented it, which is, I think, very timely for us. So yeah, apart from that, it also unlock a lot of data partnership with the agency and our clients. So both of our monetization and data strategy innovation for Carousell.
Amazing, amazing. Great to know. That brings us to the end of the podcast, Gibson. I have a small fun segment
Okay.
with a set of rapid fire questions, right? A book or a podcast that you'd recommend to the audience right now.
I would recommend my favorite book. It's called The Act of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dole. Yeah.
Amazing. One skill that you're currently learning or looking to learn.
You've guessed it. AI. Learn a lot of. The past 2 weeks we have hackathon in Carousell, so learn a lot of automation, improve efficiency, and will bring joy to the team because that will eliminate some of the admin work. After that, learning automation, AI, we have been rolling a few projects with the team, so quite exciting.
Very cool. All of us are learning AI at the moment,
You know,
right?
need to keep up.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's the most favorite thing about working at Carousel for you?
I think two things. I think from a visions perspective, it's about the impact Carousel have on sustainability. I guess promoting circular economy and helping, I guess, the world a better place by reusing and recycling. And from organizational perspective, I guess it's a strong user first mindset. So every decision, as mentioned, keeps the user experience in mind, which I think makes the work feel not just impactful, but also meaningful for on the personal level.
Very inspiring, I must say. If you had to choose, the eternal question, if you had to choose between targeting and creatives, which would be your pick?
Creative. I like compelling creatives. I click on creative, on ads that have a great creative design, even though it's not relevant for me.
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for your time, Gibson. It was so much fun having this conversation with you, and I'm sure our audience have a lot of interesting takeaways. Thank you for your time and thank you for sharing.
Thanks for inviting me, Gourav. Happy to share the insights from Carousel point of view.